Am I live? Can you guys hear me? Hit test, 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 test. Hey, maybe we can get someone to test to see if you can see me on live, honey. Welcome to the monthly Drool-worthy cooking class. Whoops, maybe I should turn off my mail. Let's do that. Happy Monday. No, today's not Monday. Happy Wednesday. I never know what time of the week it is. Okay, so we are making this dish called Fatteh Hummus. And it's not hummus, even though that's what it looked like in the photo. And I just want to tell you a little story about where I discovered this dish. My husband and I were in Montreal, and we decided, you know what? Montreal has a lot of great Lebanese restaurants. Let's just go find one. And we found one that was literally 600 meters away from where we were staying. So we're like, okay, let's go there. And it was called Beirut. What was it called, honey? Garage Beirut. Beirut Garage. Beirut Garage. And I was like, okay, we sat outside. It was summertime. And we're like, what's a really good popular dish here? And she's like, oh, Fatteh Hummus, and you can get it with chickpeas or you can get it with meat. We decided, okay, let's just get the chickpea dish. And literally we were like over the moon. We're like, what the heck is this dish? It's so delicious. It's like it's warm yogurt and da-da-da-da-da. We scarfed down that dish and we ended up ordering another one. And the second time we ordered a chicken dish, one with chicken, but I have to say the chickpea one was a lot better, maybe because we're already full and we were still eating. Anyway, so that's the story of this dish. And I decided to add a few extra items in there. And some of the extra items that I decided to add in there are the pomegranates. And I also added in the pistachios. They're extra. And I think pine nuts were already in that dish. And then I've also am going to, well, it's not in the recipe, but anything Middle Eastern flavor, toss it in. Mint, fresh mint, I decided to add in there. That's just from my tower garden downstairs in the basement. And I also did some orange zest as well, because just for a little zing. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that your chickpeas are cooked, or if you want to use canned, that's totally fine as well. And you want to do the yogurt first. So you I use just plain yogurt, this stuff here. Astro 2% or 3%. What is this? Oh, this is 6% plain yogurt is what I did. And you can put it in a regular pot, but if you have a double boiler, use that instead. But it can totally work with just a regular pot. You just have to make sure you don't burn it, okay? Because it can very easily burn. So I happen to have a double boiler, so I decided to cook it in there. And in that double boiler, I've got it right here, already made and cooked. Just for sake of time, I just put in the yogurt along with the garlic and the lemon and the cumin. Okay, so I've done that. And then I also just recently cooked up some chickpeas that I'm going to drain right now. Whoops. And steamy. Okay. And then with my chickpea, I just put it in a bowl. Now this is a pretty flat, big bowl. So just put a little bit in here. It's quite filling, so I don't recommend that you put a whole heck of a lot in there. So just like that. And then, as well, before I go on, is you also want to make, this is what you want to do first actually, is the pita chips. So I just use regular Lebanese white flour, white Lebanese pita bread that I cut into strips and into squares, and it looks like this. And I actually ran out of avocado oil. You definitely want to use a higher temperature oil to cook the pita chips, and you just discovered a whole new snack that you can make all by yourself. You don't have to go out and buy pita chips in boxes anymore, because now you realize, oh, you know what? You can totally make these for snacks. And I made them into squares. Just put some olive oil in a pan, heat it up. Not olive oil. Do not use olive oil. I used avocado oil. That's what I used. And I just fried them up. And I actually ran out of oil, so I like it a little oilier than this, but as long as it's crispy, it's totally fine. And then once you like it, the consistency, which is kind of a little bit toasted and a little bit firm, kind of crunchy, you'll see like, that was pretty crunchy. I just put in a bowl and I add some za'atar. Za'atar is a Middle Eastern spice mix that you can pretty much get in any large grocery store. Here in Toronto, we have Loblaws. You can buy that in Loblaws. Okay. And I just sprinkle it on with a little bit of salt. And these are your new snacks, pita chips. So what I've done now is I've got the chickpeas here. And then I'm going to get my yogurt dish. I'm going to bring it over. And you kind of want it to keep it warm, just so the garlic and the lemon and cumin kind of blend together nicely. It's got a nice little ladle here. And I'm just going to stir it up. And it's always best to use as fresh as you can get yogurt because it's less watery. You know, sometimes when you put yogurt in the fridge and it sits around for just a little bit too long, you start having that water form. Yeah, you don't want that. You want it to be as fresh as possible. And I'm just going to ladle some yogurt into my dish here. And this dish, I asked actually what they serve it. If it's lunch, breakfast, dinner, what kind of dish it is. And it's kind of like a breakfast brunch dish, but you know what? I've eaten it for breakfast, I've eaten it for lunch, and I've eaten it for dinner, and it's all fantastic. So now I've got the yogurt on top of my chickpeas. And then I just start layering all the different pieces or bits into my dish here. So I'm going to start with the pita chips just because they're a little bit bigger. And I'm just going to take a handful of it. And you can add as much or as little as you want. You can always add more. Just add that on top there. And then I have my toasted, what are these called? Pistachios, toasted raw pistachios. And I'm going to sprinkle on there because you know what? Who doesn't love pistachios, right? I love pistachios. Then I also toasted some pine nuts. And who doesn't love toasted pine nuts? I mean, it's one of my favorite nuts to eat. I sprinkle some of that on there. And then I have the pomegranates. And I actually went to the Persian grocery store about a week ago. And they had like pomegranates. I'll show you. Massive, massive size. Check this out. Check out this huge pomegranate and the color of it. Isn't that stunning? Okay, when I was in Turkey back in October, I had fresh pomegranate juice every single day. They cut it in half, do it into a press, and there you go. There's your fresh pomegranate juice. So I went bonkers for that every single day. So I'm just going to add some of the pomegranates here into my dish. And if you like pomegranates, you just add a little more. All right, and then I also have the orange zest, as you can see here, from my beautiful not so orange anymore. I sprinkle a little bit of that on here just for some added color because it's quite pretty. I'm going to show it to you shortly. And then I'm going to finally chop up the French mint that I got from my tower garden downstairs. So I'm just going to quickly chop this up, just bunch it up and make it nice and fine. And I do love the produce that I get from my tower garden. You realize that, you know, stuff that you grow on your either indoors or outdoors in your home is so different than the stuff that you buy at the grocery store. And it's definitely more delicate and it has way more flavor. So spring is here. People, I've noticed that I've talked to some ladies, they've already started to do their own, to sprout their own vegetables for the season. And I hope you get a chance to do that too. And here is my Fatteh Hummus. And here it is. There it is. Nice, warm, Middle Eastern yogurt dish that you are going to love. So that's it for this dish. And I hope you enjoy it. And I will see you soon. Bye.